Moneyline, underdogs for today. Calabrese, what do you got?
I'm going to start with South Dakota Coyotes at nearly 2-1 against Omaha. Coyotes are red hot. They've won 5 of 6, including a 4-point win over Omaha about 3 weeks ago. Now, listen, their defense is awful, but they push the pace to the second fastest team behind Alabama in the entire country, and they create extra possessions. So even though they're sloppy on the defensive end and they give up good looks, with the game increasing in terms of overall possessions, sometimes those bad runs where they're giving up 2 and 3 straight possessions with good looks, it doesn't hurt them quite as much. What is interesting is by playing so fast, you think they'd be a little bit sloppy with the basketball, but they are not. They are +4 in the turnover margin, which is 14th in the entire country. So I think this is a spot where this is a lot closer to a coin flip. So getting 2-1 on my money is advantageous. And also, I think in terms of guard play, they have the best guard on the floor. Chase Forte is someone who can get to the basket and get to the line consistently, which is what I really like when you take your show on the road. Sometimes those threes don't fall at the same rate, but if you can get to the line, you can stabilize your scoring. He's had 6 or more foul shot attempts in 6 of his last 7 games. I think the Coyotes get it done. And I know, Stuck, you're always looking for an opportunity to fade Nebraska Omaha.
I can't figure out Nebraska Omaha. I've given up trying to figure them out. But yeah, I know that their defense is bad. Sutton is good. I just can't get a read on them on a game-to-game basis. So, but I don't hate the play. Greg, you're gonna get a little crazy.
I'm gonna get crazy. I do not love the underdogs today. I will say that there wasn't much in the short to medium dog range that I'm really looking to add to the card. So why not take a shot on a team that I'm willing to fade against anybody on earth right now? I would take my men's league team at 8-1 to beat Kansas in a 40-minute basketball game right now. This team hates each other. I called this out last March. I think we all did. And what do you know? They did hate each other. Bill Self was like, let's fast forward to next year. This team also hates each other. We're coming off a Kansas performance where Bill Self got to the podium and said, yeah, we just need some time away from each other. They do not like being in the same room with each other. It's visibly obvious. And it also has a personnel issue here where he's trying to play three bigs at the same time. He's playing KJ Adams at the three next to Flory Badunga and Hunter Dickinson, just because presumably those are the only guys on the team he can get to play hard. AJ Store's a locker room destroyer. It's an all-time bad moment for Kansas basketball right now. They really can lose to anybody. And I understand Fog Allen's different, but I don't think we've seen this hit the bottom yet. And we got some weird reports this week that Bill Self wanted the Oklahoma State job years ago, right before they're playing Oklahoma State. I just have this weird feeling we're going to see an all-time meltdown at some point this season. Who knows if it will be today or not? But look, Oklahoma State has been playing better. I'm not going to sit here and write home about them being a good basketball team, but they've covered the number in 5 of 6 games. They were in a two-possession game at Houston and at Texas Tech with a minute left. I think they at least motivationally get up for the big games on this schedule right now. They're excited for the opportunity, and Kansas is vulnerable. And if you want one schematic reason to believe that Oklahoma State will at least have some chances here, their biggest offensive concern to me is turning the ball over. They do it constantly. Kansas just doesn't force turnovers. Defensively, that's not what they want to do. So Oklahoma State should get a few extra possessions. Maybe they hit some shots and get lucky. Maybe this implodes. 8-1. Give me the Cowboys.
Bold. For me, I'm not going as bold. Although after discussing the Illinois game with you, Illinois is a money line shot. I don't hate because the more I think about it, like there's a lot of variance in this game with like how healthy they are. They're probably gonna have to shoot a ton of threes. Do they get the 3-point variance? Do their stars go off, or do they just quit? So like there's blowout risk, and I think Illinois, if everything goes right, they have the talent to win this game outright. So I don't hate Illinois as like a high variance play since there's just a lot of variance in that game on a neutral court. But I'll throw out a short one in Arkansas, just a spot play. Missouri coming off, I think Missouri's at the very peak of their market with that roster. I mean, they've been incredible. They've been the second best team in the country since January 1st per Torvik. Their offense has been great, but bit of a letdown spot here. Now, these teams on the bubble that need to win, you can get in trouble just blindly betting them because why? Well, number one, sometimes there's a premium to back them, and number two, there's a reason that they're on the bubble. And I, has the team changed? No, the reason that they're on the bubble is because they're usually flawed rosters. But I do think Arkansas has changed. I mean, they've been a completely different team since losing Fland, who was shooting 27% from 2 and 3 in league play. The last game that he played hurt. He was like, I think 2 of 13 or 14 against Missouri and was just awful in that game. Over the last 6 games, Arkansas's been a top 20 team in the country, a top 5 defense. They have road wins at Texas, road wins at Kentucky, and they went right to the wire with Alabama, Auburn, and Texas A&M. This team's playing a lot better. I do think that they're fundamentally different. They've kind of settled into their roles. It's a pretty good spot. So I'll throw out Arkansas as a spot look for an underdog money line.